34 miles south of the Canadian border in Orchard Park, New York, the AFC Game of the Year. The Game of the Year. Now, that was Patrick Mahomes and the unbeaten Chiefs heading into a matchup, Western New York, the site there, play date with Josh Allen and the Bills. Now, the experts coming in this game saying this was the toughest game on the schedule remaining for Andy Reid's team. Tony Romo and Jim Nantz were there. It was the only game for CBS in the late television window. Imagine the ratings Bafo Sacco for this game. Now, I don't know if you watch it. Maybe you were not. Maybe you had something else going on. I don't know what else you had going on, but who knows? I'm not you. But I watched. I was checking it out, and maybe you did too, but maybe not. So Josh Allen, rumbling and stumbling. He ran for 26 yards, and he gets the touchdown at the end point. That wasn't the final play of the game. It was 2:17 to go. It was the game-sealing touchdown as he ran 26 yards through that Kansas City defense, sealing it, and Buffalo wins by 9. They were favored by a couple of points. They win by 9 over Kansas City in the late TV window, handing the back-to-back Super Bowl champs, the Chiefs, their first loss of the season, so they will not go 17-0. You can put that to bed. It was a battle of defenses for the first 3 quarters of this game. They changed 7 punts over the first 3 quarters of the game, and it wasn't Arctic weather in Buffalo. It was mild conditions, calm and mild. You didn't get the lake effect snow or anything like that. We're not, I guess, late enough in the year for that, but the temperatures in the high 40s, minimum wind, the forecast, and what played out in the game there. James Cook was cooking. He rushed for 2 touchdowns. Allen, that's Josh, he had the 12-yard touchdown pass to Curtis Samuel. So the Bills improved to 9-2, and they are bird-dogging Kansas City for the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. The Chiefs now 9-1 on the year. So let us discuss the better story in the losing locker room. So we asked the question to the esteemed panel, and it's a rather simple question. Who ends up getting the blame barbecue brisket, if you will, for the Chiefs losing this game? So I've got Hogtied, Eye Chart, and Fortune Cookie. And we'll hear a little bell there, and then we're on our way. All right, so listen, the arrow on this one pointing directly right in the middle of the bullseye at the Chiefs defense. Now, you know Kansas City's offense, well, they're not the greatest in the world, blah, 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 blah. But the thing that you always assumed would be there for the Chiefs, and it wasn't on this day, the unheralded meat and potatoes of the Chiefs has been their defense. It's all about the D. And in this game, they were not good enough. They came up short here. Josh Allen and the Bills had this game hog-tied late in the game. Kansas City's defense struggling on 3rd down, for example. Bills converted 9 of 15. My computer-like brain tells me that's 60%, which is not good. And in the red zone, 3 of 4 in the red zone for the team from Buffalo, and they held the ball for over 34 minutes as the Chiefs unable to convert on 3rd down, and the Bills making plays there. They kept the ball away. And possession, as we know, 9/10 of victory is possession. Now, how big a deal is the loss for Andy Reid and the Chiefs? So the MALLER scale of concern, 1 to 10, with 10 being, oh my God, we're screwed. That's a 10. So on the MALLER scale of concern, 1 to 10 for Kansas City, I'm at a 2. Now, that doesn't make good talk radio. It would be much better if I was at a 10, but I'm at a 2. Did I think the Chiefs were going to win the game? Yes, I did. Did they win the game? No. Is this, oh, my God, they're screwed? No, not really. Now, in some respects, you say, well, the perfect record's off the table. That's completely gone. So it's just tunnel vision And if it gets to week 17, and you can start resting people if you want to do that game. But if you look at the eye chart, and you examine the eye chart here, and the eye on the prize, that third straight Lombardi trophy for Mahomes and the Chiefs. Now, Mahomes, that lucky rabbit foot, that aside, the lucky rabbit foot that Mahomes has had clearly ran out after 338 days. 338 days. The Chiefs had won 15 straight games, including the playoffs. They last lost prior to Sunday. They had last lost December 17th of 2023. So Mahomes, what he needs to do now is go on the Temu. I don't think Amazon has it. But you go on the Temu there. You get some fuzzy dice, and you toss the next word here. In some corners of the football world, in some corners here, this win by Buffalo seen as a huge development, right? Massive win by the Bills. Oh man, Bills Mafia, they're all horny. They're all excited, right? They're boozing it up, having a fine time. It's a regular season win, and Bills Mafia loves to celebrate regular season wins. And that this proves somehow that the Bills can beat the Chiefs and all that, blah, blah, blah. So I ask you the question, and I assume you're neutral. That you're not a Chiefs fan or a Bills fan. But I ask the question, do you trust Josh Allen and the Bills to beat the Chiefs when it matters most because they beat them in a random regular season game in week 10? Do you trust them, right? And the answer to that, if you're being intellectually honest with yourself, the answer is no. At least on this side of the microphone, the answer is no. The regular season win it's a nice little moment. It's a nice little moment. We won the game. But down the line, it has no bearing on what happens down the line. In fact, I even went to the fortune cookie, and I opened up a fortune cookie, which is never wrong, for some guidance on this. And the fortune cookie said, you think it's a secret, but they know, meaning Buffalo knows. The players know. The fans probably don't because they're a bunch of lunatics, but the players know, right? When it's nut-cutting time, when it's absolute nut-cutting time, you don't buy the Bills. You don't. The Bills, you realize they have defeated the Chiefs in 4 straight regular season matchups. 4 consecutive regular season matchups. It has gone the way of the team from Buffalo. However, in the postseason, Kansas City has won the past 3 matchups going back to the pandemic year of 2020. So the Chiefs now have a 1-game lead for the number 1 overall record, number 1 seed in the AFC. And it doesn't matter if they play in Kansas City or if they play in New York. They've proven they can win. In Buffalo in the playoffs, they've proven, obviously, at home, they're fine. So that's not really that big a deal. You'd rather be at home than in Buffalo. But when it comes down to it, as nice as that day was for the Bills, you still don't get the vibe at the end that they're going to end up the Bills winning. I don't. Maybe you do. Maybe you see it differently than I do.